Welcome to another episode of the Whole Ass Show. It's the Left Cheek, aka Dustin.
Right cheek, aka Kevin.
In between us is a whole bunch of shit. Not just a normal reaction video. This is actually something that's been popping up, and we are actually both going to take the time and we're going to look into it. We're going to watch it. And we're going to give our opinions on the movie. So, something that I keep seeing pop up is about dealing with a movie, The Sound of Freedom. And Elon Musk, Mel Gibson, a bunch of other celebrities have been hopping on it. Pertaining to the movie and on the subject of child trafficking. So, do you know anything at all about The Sound of Freedom other than what we've been?
Other than like little stuff here and there, no, not really. Like I haven't like they haven't even pushed the movie.
They're blocking it.
Obviously Hollywood doesn't want to promote the movie. You know, they're too busy, promoting Barbie and shit like that.
Mind-numbing shit.
Right. Although it looks like a good movie, it looks like a funny movie. I'm not gonna lie. It looks
What?
like Barbie.
Garbage.
Barbie looks like it's a funny movie, right? But it's not getting. It's getting. Obviously, this one, Sound of Freedom, isn't getting the same promotion and the same airtime as a movie like that does. Which obviously says something. It says that there are some things in there that they don't want showing, or they don't want coming out, or they don't want people realizing. So that's kind of what I get from it. And to be honest with you, it makes me want to watch it more.
Yeah, it really does. And
So it kind of backfires on them at times, like when they do stuff like this, when they try to censor stuff or when they try to hide stuff away. It kind of makes some people, or people like us at least, want to watch it even more, or want to see it even more, or want to listen to it even more, because we want to know what it's really about.
why is it pissing
really
you off?
Yeah, like, is it really that bad? Like, we've got to see.
I think what we ought to do is we ought to make a time where we can watch it together. Whether we watch it on a computer together, like, cause I can make it where we can both watch it. But I think that'd be an interesting take to watch it and then give our opinion on it.
Yeah.
Regardless of, we know a lot of people prefer like the music reaction stuff, which is fine. We don't mind doing it. We love music, but we also like talking about current events. We also we like expressing our insight or input on certain things.
We don't just like to stay current on music. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, music is a good part of our everyday life, because of our jobs. So it helps with our jobs. You know what I mean? Like, just music is everywhere.
Today.
Yeah, like music is everywhere. So
Yeah.
whether you use it to help you calm you down or hype you up, or whatever, like, that's just, it is what it is, right? So, but we do like to try to keep up with current events that aren't mainstream type current events.
Yeah. So right into this one, this is a video brought to us by Drama Bay. You can check them out on YouTube. This is just something that popped up on the feed, and it caught my attention. Just see what he's got to say.
Sound of Freedom will be available on Twitter next week.
A new movie came out exposing human trafficking, specifically kids. Dana White posted that he is buying tickets to everyone that works for him to go see that movie. And the weirdest thing is mainstream media is bashing it.
Let you guys know again, it is gonna get hot. It's gonna be like a.
Why is the media hating this movie?
I can't understand it. The film was made, produced, written like 5 years, 6 years ago, way before anyone heard them.
Elon Musk pairs up with Mel Gibson to expose Hollywood's creepy secrets and support Sound of Freedom. We have all heard of the film Sound of Freedom. It is said to be a film that exposes one of Hollywood's deepest secrets, which is child trafficking. However, Contrary to what people would expect, few Hollywood stars promote it. In fact, most of them have been silent about the film, leading to a lot of suspicion. How is it that most of the so-called philanthropists are not saying anything about it? So far, the one person who has been very vocal about the film is Mel Gibson. And now, most recently, Elon Musk seems to have joined him in promoting the film. But what has Elon Musk done to support Sound of Freedom and expose one of Hollywood's creepy secrets? Let's find out, shall we? But before we continue, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing celebrity gossip. It is odd that a movie with a strong theme like Sound of Freedom has not made it to cinemas. Not only that, but it has not even been featured on major streaming sites such as Netflix and Hulu. The fact that it sheds some light on the human trafficking rings going on worldwide, especially in Hollywood, is enough to have streaming services fighting for their rights. But that has not happened yet. There are speculations that this is because of
Okay, here's something that's funny. Funny, not funny. So when the whole Jeffrey Epstein shit happened, right after the death, of course, you know, whatever. They were talking about how, you know, the whole trafficking and shit, right? After.
Yeah.
But they never talked about who was part of it, right? There were documentaries made, like countless documentaries made. I know Hulu had a documentary, Netflix had a documentary. They made a documentary about his wife. Okay? But now they don't want to talk about this. Why?
I mean, the same reason why a lot of people wouldn't. I mean, it's something that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. And with a lot of people, I mean, like, there's like certain things that are just reality. I mean, we don't have to go into depth, but there's certain things that are just reality and don't need an explanation. But a lot of people don't like whenever the blanket's lifted. They like to keep in their mind like, oh, I know this happens, but I don't need to know it happens a lot.
Right. But what I'm saying though is how come those documentaries are okay to be made, right? But at the same time, because I watched them and I watched them all. And to be honest, they didn't mention any names other than Jeffrey Epstein and the people that we know about. The Prince of England or something like that. Whoever it is, was he like a prince in England?
Somewhere. I don't know if it was England, but I know that
I want to say it was England.
Like, I mean, that's like they say Bill Gates.
Well, I want to say it was like a prince of England, right? Where he got basically like disowned, I guess, for, you know, from the royal family, right? For his involvement in the thing, right? And they were okay with that. So basically, like the people that showed up in the documentary were people that we already knew about, right? That they had talked about in the news. But this movie, however, exposes all of Hollywood, and they're like, oh no, like, no, we can't talk about it. Because there was more people than what was, you know, was supposed to be.
Well, and something that I don't understand is why or how anybody can look at a child and think it's attractive. It's a child. There's
even kids look at each other and you just go, ew.
Yeah. But I mean, there's plenty of
You know what I'm saying?
flat-chested grown-ups.
But you know what I'm saying though? Like it's just, I don't know.
I know it's not just girls, but like there's plenty of flat-chested boys and girls, well, grown men and women. But I mean, if you want that kind of thing, leave the kids alone.
Yeah, dude, like, I don't know. It, like I said, like, I don't understand why they're trying so hard to, like, censor this. As far as, I mean,
because
I don't know. I'm gonna assume that they don't mention any names on here. I mean, if they did, then you know, I can imagine the amount of lawsuits if they mention names. If they mention names of current people now, I would imagine the amount of lawsuits, like, you know, the defamation lawsuits or the
slander.
The slander lawsuits. You know what I mean? Like, I can imagine that. So I'm pretty sure that they don't mention anything. They just mention. I'm pretty sure that this movie just talks about the inner workings of how they get the kids.
And that's something that they don't want. Because from my understanding.
But they were completely fine talking about the Epstein shit.
Well, yeah, it was somebody else to take the rap. Somebody else to take the blame. Somebody else to take the fault. I mean, it's like every other thing that happens in, I'm pretty sure it happens in every government. But like one of the things that happens in the U.S. a lot is whenever they want to pass something or they want to move something somewhere else, they distract you with something else and they get you not to pay attention to this so nobody's voting against it so that this can happen. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the things. It's got to be. Because regardless if we're comfortable with it or not, we know this shit happens. I mean, hell, what? The past 5 years, how many times it happened in the city that we're at? And they busted the hotels and shit. Or, yeah, the hotels. It wasn't even motels. It was hotels.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. People are sick.
Of the Hollywood elite who don't want to be exposed for participating in child trafficking. But in all of Hollywood, one person has been very vocal about it: Mel Gibson. Since the day Sound of Freedom was released, Mel Gibson has been advertising
Mel Gibson gives no fucks. Okay? And I appreciate that.
it for free to the whole world. He has constantly discussed human trafficking, promoting all efforts to stop it. And so far, it seems he is the only one who has fought hard enough for the movie to be shown worldwide. They say that every choice has a consequence, and this has been seen in Mel Gibson's intention to promote the movie. He has received a lot of backlash from his Hollywood peers, who do not want to be exposed. And with his campaign, one name that popped up was Oprah Winfrey. After the movie was released, Oprah has been in the spotlight for some time now, with people claiming that her South African school is the main hub for choosing the next victims. However, the Hollywood elite is doing everything they can to stop the film from going global, but it has still gone viral. As the Hollywood elite fight the film to keep their secrets hidden, Mel Gibson might have just received support from one of the most influential people in the world. Elon Musk, currently the richest man in the world, has shown his support for the film on Twitter. Angel Studios tweeted on May 18th, announcing the film's official release in theaters. The tweet also had the official trailer for the film, which received thousands of likes. And following this tweet, Elon Musk's reply was what won the hearts of many. His tweet read, "I recommend putting it on this platform for free for a brief period or just asking people to subscribe to support. We would not keep any funds." The film's distributor seemed happy about this, replying to this tweet by saying, "That's an interesting idea. Let's chat." With this move, it seems Elon Musk is putting his recently acquired platform to good use. According to the MRC, this move by Musk works in favor of both the film and the platform. Musk's endorsement will get the film more exposure and promote Twitter's recent move to feature more streaming video and the platform's move to paid subscriptions for additional content. Aside from this, it could also be the next step in the billionaire entrepreneur's plan to challenge YouTube with streaming video content. The launch of former Fox News host Tucker Carlson's new show on Twitter sometime in June serves as evidence that this plan has already begun. With Musk's tweet showing support for the film, a lot of people have also come out to show their support for fighting child trafficking. One such person is country music recording artist John Rich, who responded to Elon's offer. He said, "Hey, at Elon Musk, I appreciate your acknowledgement of how vitally important this film #Sound of Freedom is to the world." Another Twitter user said, "I would predict the movie would gross more by opening on Twitter with subscriptions than just in theaters. More importantly, it would be seen by more people worldwide. And that needs to happen." All this support came before the film was released. However, it seems that as soon as the Hollywood elite discovered that the movie would expose them, they did everything in their power to sink it. And because of this, the movie never made it to theaters, and companies like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon never really pursued it. Nobody knows why the
You know what? You know what's crazy about that? I've got an opinion, and it's gonna be heard. You got movies. What's that most recent one, Will Smith? You know which one I'm talking about.
Give me a second.
All over Amazon Prime, Netflix, and stuff like that.
Fuck.
See,
You said Will Smith?
Will Smith.
Shit, man.
Emancipation.
Okay.
You got movies like that get boasted and pushed, and yes, that's that scene in history and that point in the world, not just in the U.S., but the world where that shit still happens. As far as like the mistreatment, the slavery, stuff like that, you know, the murdering, the raping, the pillaging, stuff like that happens everywhere else still. Not everywhere else, but it happens in a lot of more places than we're aware of. But something that's about protecting the innocence and the decisions and the mental stability and keeping the scars off of the kids. It's current. That happens every day. Why is it that that's got to be shut out? Because these motherfuckers got too much money. And because it'll take out of their pocket. And I'm going to tell you something. That's crazy. So I did not see Oprah being... well, you can't say the suspect, can you?
You think so?
No, I'm saying I wouldn't have thought that Oprah would have been a suspect. I mean, I didn't even know she had a school in Africa. So that might be a reason why.
I don't know. I feel like Oprah ain't been for the people since she got,
Since those cars that she bought for her audience and then they got them all repoed because she didn't pay the taxes on them.
Yeah. Well, because they couldn't pay the taxes on them. To be fair.
Yeah. To be fair.
Yeah.
But we got all these movies that are promoted for hate, violence, murder, rape, everything else. But that's also one of my favorite people in my life that I never met, Chester Bennington. You know, when they were working on Exposing, and now all of a sudden he's not with us no more. And then, oh God, what was that motherfucker's name? The guy right after Chester, left this earth. That one big producer, he got put out. You know what I'm talking about, right? He was kind of like a heavyset white dude, and all of a sudden he ended up with some kind of like mental disease or something like that.
You're not talking about the dude who did Columbine, are you?
I'll Google it right quick.
He does like documentaries.
No.
Okay.
This producer with the disease after conviction.
Oh, Weinstein?
Yeah, no, was it Weinstein? Yeah, I think it is.
About Weinstein?
Harvey Weinstein, yeah. Him. Okay, so shortly after, Chester is not with us anymore, all of a sudden, he gets put out. And, there's like a large rumor, we don't know if it's true or not, but they were talking about how, he was trying to expose the sexual abuse and the Hollywood ring and everything like that, and how they were working to, like, trying to save kids and, people from this. All of a sudden, he disappears. And then Harvey Weinstein, he gets ousted. And now, out of nowhere, this man has this insane medical condition. You didn't hear about that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's wild. I mean, but they want to block out this kind of stuff. They don't want us to know what's going on behind the scenes. They don't want to know that people aren't okay with the decisions they're making. It's just nauseating. It's sickening.
Yeah.
It's sickening. And you got people like Harvey, and then, some other people's childhood heroes like Cosby, and, so on and so forth. It's like, it's almost like they bit the hand that fed. And they said, hey, wash my hands with you.
Yep.
Sorry.
Major streaming companies would leave such a movie behind. The movie is based on the inspirational true story of Tim Ballard, who was a former U.S. government agent. He willingly quit his job and devoted his life to rescuing children from global sex traffickers. The main character is Jim Caviezel, who plays federal agent Tim Ballard. And from the film, he portrays the character quite well, showing how Tim Ballard has been working in the dark world of child crimes for 12 years and has started losing hope. However, he ends up rescuing a 7-year-old boy who had been kidnapped, along with his sister, by brutal traffickers. When the boy asks Tim to find his sister, Tim discovers his life's mission. From there on, he dedicates his life to rescuing children from sex slavery, wherever they may be. However, as we have come to learn, Mel Gibson and Tim Ballard are not the only people who are against this. When the new Twitter owner acquired the platform, he tweeted in late November that removing child exploitation is priority #1. And under Musk's ownership, Twitter's head of safety, Ella Irwin, has confirmed that she has been moving rapidly to combat child sexual abuse material, which was apparently prevalent on the site under previous owners. And now she claims that Twitter 2.0 will be different, just as promised. A review was later done by the New York Times, and it found that the imagery, which is commonly known as child pornography, is still persistent on the platform. This includes widely circulated material that the authorities consider the easiest to detect and eliminate. Ever since Elon Musk took over Twitter in late October, the platform has largely eliminated or lost staff who were experienced with the problem and failed to prevent the spread of abusive images. In addition, Twitter also stopped paying for some detection software that was considered key to its efforts. But even as all this was happening, people on dark web platforms still talked about how Twitter remains a platform where material can still be found easily while avoiding detection. In early December last year, an independent researcher working with Twitter interviewed Ms. Irwin and said that illegal content had been available on the platform for years. However, Ms. Irwin and others at Twitter have gone on to confirm that the efforts put in place by Mr. Musk have been paying off. In the first month after acquiring Twitter, the company had already suspended more than 300,000 accounts for violating child sexual exploitation policies. This was 57% more than usual compared to other years. This effort was increased in January when Twitter claimed it had suspended.
Holy shit.
Now, Elon Musk is a piece of shit and he's an asshole billionaire. I don't think that. I don't worship the ground to do walks on.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I see what you're
no.
saying.
Like, I don't
Okay.
worship the ground to do walks on, but I've always been intrigued by his ability in whatever situation he's put in, because that is one thing I think he's incredible at, is putting together a team. Like, he's phenomenal. But for everybody to hate that can't stand him, oh, he's firing people, they're losing jobs.
That's the reason why. Because they
They're
weren't
not-
doing their jobs.
They're not worth the money.
Yeah, if you're not doing your job, guess what happens to you? You get fired for not
Yes.
doing your job.
Yes, and
Like-
you can't say he's a piece of shit for that.
No, like now I get it. I mean I didn't call him a piece of shit before anyway, but you know what I'm saying? But like it's like it now. It makes sense. I mean, obviously that's what happens to you if you don't do your job.
And that's what
a
should
job
happen.
that you're paid for, you get fired. You know what I mean? Especially when the boss comes up to you and asks you for questions and asks you questions about why you're not doing your job, and you can't explain why you're not doing your job. Guess what? You should be fired.
Whenever
You
your
should
job
damn
is
sure be
specifically
fired.
removing this kind of
Right.
content,
Right. When you have a specific job to do and you're not performing your specific job, you should definitely get fired.
and it's like poor old Mel Gibson. I mean, yeah, he's well off. I'm pretty sure he is. I don't know financially, but pretty sure he's well off. But you got people like him, and then you got people like Elon Musk. I mean, and some people could say, "Oh, well, that's just this dude." Literally, how many people knew that he fired all these people because they weren't doing their job?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people knew because all they said,
But they wouldn't say nothing.
all they said in the media was that Elon Musk came in and started firing a bunch of people, but they never gave an actual reason why.
And now this pops up.
You know, they never wanted to, even if they knew what the reason was, they never put it out there. They just put out the bad part where he came in and started firing a bunch of people. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and now here we are, and we're finding out why.
That should make sense.
I mean, how can you be mad at someone cutting funding on something that just isn't working? I mean, the software that they were supposed to be, they were paying for, wasn't doing its job. It wasn't reporting, or it was reporting them,
I mean,
and the employees just weren't doing nothing about it.
to be fair, I mean, at least he's trying to do something. You know, it may not be to the expectations of people right now, but at least he's trying to basically like reverse what has been going on this entire time. So yeah, I mean the numbers are big, you know, but it should be like it's gonna take a little bit of time, you know, like
A lot of it.
I'm not saying that you're like, oh shit, like he's doing, you know,
He's making big moves.
yeah,
but,
he's making big moves, but it's gonna take a while for those big moves to actually pay off.
I mean, what about
you know,
whenever
so,
those
like,
those
I'm
Chinese
not-
kids?
Like I'm not expecting him to like, you know, do a complete wipe of Twitter.
He's not a
which
god.
He probably should.
Oh, if he did that, good God.
If he did that, there would be a lot of pissed off people.
I
A
mean-
lot of pissed off legit people.
Yeah, well, that's like they got pissed off by having to pay for the blue verified mark.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, I don't.
I mean, there's people, you know, there's people we watch on YouTube where they've been on Twitter for years and they can't get verified. No, they can't. It takes the guessing game out of it. If you can pay for it, sure, why not? But in that specific thing right here, he's making use of what he can.
404,000 accounts. In a series of tweets, The company claimed that they were using a more aggressive approach and that they were also cracking down on people who search for exploitative material. With these increased efforts, they have reduced successful searches by 99% since December. In an interview, Miss Irwin confirmed.
Now, we both agree that this is a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if let's say we got 1,000 people, 980 of them are completely against it. But the other 20 are like, well, what's wrong? I mean, if they know what's going on, why is it a bad thing? Now, would it be so wrong for the U.S. not to be so sensitive and to actually make things like this punishable? Looking this shit up, doing the harm to these kids, to humans, to people, not just kids, because I mean, they do it. The drugs can make people a damn zombie and a slave too. But you go to these other countries, if they steal something, they lose a hand. They steal something again, they lose an arm. They steal something again, they die. I mean, what about, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like Romanian times or whatnot, where if you were a rapist or something like that and it was against someone's will, they literally tied you up to a pole in the center of town and they put peanut butter on your genitalia and they let you eat it off. I mean, why can't we have more harsh punishments for crimes instead of building fancier, nicer prisons?
Thieves used to get branded.
Yeah. If there was actually repercussions for the actions and the choices you choose, and I didn't make a lot of good decisions when I was younger, but had there been harsher things in place, I probably wouldn't have never made them.
That the bulk suspensions involved accounts that dealt with the material or claimed to sell or distribute it, not only those who posted it. She did not deny that there is still child sexual abuse content in the open and available on the platform, but they're working on it. Mel Gibson seems to be not the only one fighting this with everything he has. And maybe with Elon Musk's support, they might expose the Hollywood elite even more. Mel Gibson is not quiet about the movie at all, exposing everything there is to sex trafficking. He has even gone on to support Tim Ballard's mission, Operation Underground Railroad, to help fight child trafficking. We can be sure that we can expect anything to happen with the Hollywood elite being exposed like that. They have already prevented the movie from getting to cinemas and major streaming services, so there's no telling what's next. Will they delete the film or will they fight everyone supporting it? We can only wait to find out. In the meantime, what is your stand on Elon Musk's support for the film? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Y'all be sure to support the original content.
Next
Drama
topic,
Bay.
Sound of Freedom.
Give them a chance. They're gonna put something up like this. I mean, it's okay. I wish that stuff would go away. And I'm not talking about just where I don't hear about it. I'm talking about like just permanently. And it's screwed up. I mean, there's people that go through stuff like this that are relatives, friends, family. I mean, if you guys are really against this kind of stuff, then I think people ought to just take a stand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch the movie.
Yeah, same. Definitely.
You guys got any input on that? Feel free.
Leave a comment.
Like. Share.
Subscribe.
Ding ding. I don't like that shit.
See y'all next time.